Hello, crafty friends. Creative Juice by Lonnie here to share some creativity with rubber stamps, ink, and paper, helping you to gain a little confidence in your card making, paper crafting, and that is what we're here to do today. So you may have seen my previous post on my website, creativejuicebylonnie.com, about this fun fault line card. I named it the fault line card after the cake decorating trend. If you haven't seen it, you can Google fault line card and see the fun creativity that bakers have. I'm going to move you a little bit closer to me here so that I can say hi. And then we're going to show you how to do it. All right, let's get you a little closer here. And then I'm also going to move. Bear with me for just a moment while we get you into focus and into a place that I can show you. I'm going to make myself a little smaller so that you can see how to do this. This is actually a really fun way to use up some extra designer series paper, or a way to use some of your new designer series paper. So I'm going to move I think I'm going to move this over here. Let's see if that helps us a little bit. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's much better, I think. Okay, so what you will need for a fault line card, this type of card I started with a piece of 4¼ by 9½ cardstock. This is just plain basic white from Stampin' Up. You will need a 4¼ by almost 5½. Just cut it a little bit shorter than 5½ because you're going to need that for the inside of your card. You will need a piece of designer series paper that is 4¼ inches wide by 4 inches tall. It could be a little bit smaller if you wanted it to be, but I just find that I don't have to worry about it. And this beautiful paper, let's see if you can see the gold. This is one of our new ones that will be coming out on January 7th in our mini catalog, and it has these beautiful gold elements on one side, and then we've got, of course, plaid on the other. This is called Wildflower Birthday. So pretty that I'm going to use. And then another piece of coordinating cardstock or designer series paper. So I'm just using the other side, and this is a 4¼ by 3 inch one. So I'm going to show you how to do this one, and then I want to show you an alternative using our embossing folders. So as you're coming in, say hello. So we've got Connie. Hi, Connie. And Tony. Oh, all right. So happy to see some friendly faces. It looks like we have a few more who haven't said hello yet. So for this one, I'm just going to fold my cardstock. So you've got a little piece right here that's not quite the whole cardstock. If you lay your 3-inch cardstock or your piece of designer series paper right on top, you can tear both of these at the same time. So I'm going to start up here in the right hand corner closest to the fold and just start to rip. And you could go straight across if you wanted to, but I like to kind of go diagonally down here towards the bottom. So you've got those pieces just like that. For this version of the card, you can actually just use your seal adhesive. This is the one that I prefer to use. It's not messy. And I put a little bit on the top and then just stick it underneath the coordinating piece that you just tore off like this. And then again on this one. Now, if you want to see more of the designer series paper, you may want to start with a card base that is a little bit shorter than 9½. So 9¼ or 9 inches. But this was just going to show a little bit of the paper. So I've got my little, this would either be a coordinating piece of cardstock that you put behind the pieces that you tore off, or in this case, that's my piece like this. And in fact, I may just trim this down a bit because I do want to see a little bit more. So I could have started with a 9 oh, 9 1/4, probably a 9 inch. I would have done a 9 inch if I had thought that through today, but I didn't. So we're gonna go 9 inch. Take off a 1/2 inch on the bottom down here, giving us just a little bit more in between those two pieces. Got it? Okay, so that the next thing you want to do is put this piece right in between. So I'm going to put adhesive on the torn edges, the back of the two torn pieces like this. Put your designer series paper right in the center and then close the top. And I put it sort of the adhesive close to the torn edge this time. And then this one you want to line up with the bottom of your card. Now, one thing that I found using this is that it's very flimsy, and look, you can see that. So this is where the back, this is where you're going to cover up all the messy stuff on the back. Just put this extra white piece of cardstock on the back to give it a little stability and to cover up any of the mess. So if you get that on there just right, you have a nice clean card on the inside and a beautiful card on the outside. This is where it gets a little bit fun. Now, before I start messing around with it, I'm actually going to stamp my words. This comes from the birthday celebration stamp set that will be coming also in January. So we get a little sneak peek. This one says, make a wish. I'm going to stamp it up here in pretty in pink. Make a wish. Okay, so then I'm going to just start fiddling. I like to kind of pull these pieces, start with my cardstock, and just kind of roll it back a little bit. Then you can do the same thing, and you can even pull off, if you want to, some of the other pieces that you don't need. Okay, this is where my fingernails need to be longer, apparently. Here we go. So I'm just going to kind of rough up the edges, roll them back a little bit, make it really organic. Have you tried anything like this? Well, hi, Kim. Good to see you. Good to see some more friendly faces coming in to learn how to do a fault line card. So I love having these rough edges. You can kind of see the difference here between the roughed up ones and then the straight ones. You could also try doing a little bit of sponging along the edges here if you wanted to make the edges really noticeable. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Now with these other cards that I made last week, I did not add anything besides words, and I used those from the Paper Pumpkin, the December Paper Pumpkin stamp set. I'll show you those again right here. I just used the words and then the paper and then a few little embellishments here. But with this one, I'm actually going to do some other things. So I like having that really fun. And don't try to make it perfect. You just want it to be real rough. Really rough like that. By the way, this is one of the designs that I'm including in my paper share, my paper and ribbon share that you can sign up for before January 7th. If I have any left over after that, we'll offer those too. But you'll get a 6x6 piece of designer series paper of all of the new papers that will be coming out in January. And this paper happens to have some cutouts, a whole page of cutouts. You won't get all of the cutouts in the share, but you will get a few of them. So I chose a little flower and a birthday cupcake. We'll put some mini dimensionals on the back just to add to this fun card. And I knew, so we'll put on our this will become a birthday card. This time I'll put a little adhesive on one side. Do I want it on that side or this side? I think I want it on the inside. On one side and a dimensional on the other. So that is our very fun and fast card. So that's the regular version of this card. Let's try doing it with a little bit of embossing folders, shall we? Okay, I hope you can see that. It's kind of dark on my side. Is it dark on your side? Is this any better? Let's see. Let's see if that makes it better. That might actually make it better. Okay. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad that you'll be able to use this. Okay, it is so simple. It is a very simple technique anybody can rip, right? We learned that in kindergarten. So we might as well use it for our current crafting that we love to do. So let's try one with an embossing folder. Today I'm going to use the Happy Hibiscus, and then I have one that I already finished with the Eyelet, the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. So this Happy Hibiscus is part of a suite that is online at creativejuicebylani.com. You can click on Shop 24/7. It's available now. And it is a 3D embossing folder, which gives a really deep impression. So we're going to use this one. And in my hurry to get everything ready for this today, we had grandkids. I can't find my pile. Here it is. This time I did make a 9" by 4 1/4" card base out of, I just love this basic beige. This is one of my new neutrals. It really gives a great contrast with white. And I have my 4 1/4 by 4" piece of melon mambo, and then I have a piece of white cardstock that's going to be my contrast on the inside. So we're going to start by embossing both the front of my card base and my melon mambo. Okay. All right. Glad you guys are enjoying the idea here, because tearing is just so simple. I'm going to bring in my big cut and emboss, because we can't use the small cut and emboss to do embossing with. We'll start with our pink, and it does not matter because this is a very random embossing folder. Don't have to have it in evenly, because it will just do a random hibiscus pattern all over. So you pull it out and you see this pretty pattern. Oh, so pretty. Just love this. It just is very fun, especially if it's snowing in your area. You'll just feel like it's summertime all over again. Now I'm going to just emboss the top, the small section of the top of my card base, and I'm going to make sure that that gets right to the fold, and then send it through with your fold of your embossing folder first. The fold goes in first so you don't break your embossing folders. Okay, let's move that out of the way and see how it worked. Looks great. So here's my front top, the small piece, and then here's my big piece. To really make this pop, I'm going to use my Whisper White Craft ink pad and just rub it on the top so that pattern pops out. So we've got our cute flowers popping through just like that. Oh, fun. Okay, just on the pink. I'm just going to do it on the pink. Doesn't that just look so cute? I love it. Wipe off my fingers. I have a little, here we go. A little thing to wipe my fingers on today. Okay, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the other one. I have a little bit smaller piece of white this time. Starting in the upper right corner near the fold of my card, I'm just going to start tearing with both my small piece, my small layer, and my big layer together. Does not have to be perfect, just kind of close. All right, there's our pieces. Now this time, because this is embossed, it may be a little easier for you to use liquid glue because that kind of grabs onto your piece of paper a little better. So let's just give it a little, let it show through from the back a little bit like that. And it kind of wiggles too, so you can wiggle it back and forth until it's in the spot that you want. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing down here on the other half. Put the white piece right behind it. We'll put a little bit of adhesive. We don't want to go too close to the edge if you're going to roll some back, so don't adhere it clear to the edge. Just kind of along that edge, and then put it on like this. Oh, come on. There we go. We just want a little bit showing through there. I think that white will really bring out, I haven't done this card, so we're hoping it really works well. I'm hoping it does. Okay, so we've got our edges here, right? Let's do, since I'm not doing any stamping on this card, I'm going to just start rolling, roughing up those edges with this one. You can even rip them. You can rip a piece right here. It does not, it just gives it that really natural feeling. So right here, you can do a little rip. Have fun playing with your paper. Play with paper. Something we should do every day. Playing is actually really important for not only your imagination, but for problem solving. So hopefully I'm not the only one who makes it So there's that first one. Looking good. We'll do our next one. I kind of start with the top piece and roll it back a little bit so I know how far to roll the bottom, the underneath side. Rough it up. You can just kind of rough up the next part. Looking good. Okay, let's put these pieces together. Again, I'm going to use my liquid glue. Just to adhere this together. Then when I put the other piece on, it will kind of all hold together. So, making sure that that is, yep, covered on the top and covered on the bottom. Line it up with both sides of your card here so that it just fits nicely. Got the hibiscus showing through, and you can go back right here. I'm like, I want more. I'm going to rip it off. Why not? And then this one down here. Now I may want to find, put this underneath here just in case there's any extra adhesive that gets on the wrong place. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, that didn't work as well as one wanted it to. Trying it one more time. Move that piece out. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we got it on there. So our hibiscus is showing through, looking good. If you want to show a little bit more, just move it. Like showing a little bit of leg, right? Just a little bit. You just want to give a little tiny bit of mystery. What's underneath there? Oh, what is it? What could it be? Okay, now I am going to use my, Seal Plus. You could use Seal, but this one just really grabs a hold nicely on an embossed background. So we're going to cover up all of our pieces right here like this. Now, if anything is poking out, you could go back and you can trim the edges if you want to, but most of the time you're not going to be able to see it. So here's our pretty card. Looking good so far. Let's see if I'm missing anybody's comments. No. I'm glad that you're learning how to do this. And hopefully you'll try it a lot of times because you're going to be like, so wait till you see the other one that I made too. Okay, so here's our first one. Here's our second one. Now with this one, I am going to do a little, I'm going to do something else on here. So let's do some happy hibiscus stamping really quick. Oh, well, I don't know what this paper is, but we're going to use it. I will stamp my hibiscus flowers here. The fun thing about this stamp set is you can cut and emboss your flowers at the same time using that same embossing folder. So I've stamped the outline. Now let's use there's some flowers that fill in. So I'm going to use, let's grab a clear block. But this time I am going to stamp off because I want that outline to be a little bit darker than the piece that I'm going to stamp in the middle. So we'll just stamp that right there. I stamped off first onto another card, and then here we go. Fill in my flowers. We'll wash that one off in a minute. Stamp it off onto a piece of scrap paper. Fill it in. I love this two-step stamping. This has always been one of my favorite types of stamping because I don't have to do any coloring or anything else. So you've got those pretty flowers. I'm going to do a couple of leaves. Let's see, somewhere I'm going to do them kind of in a blue. I have my summer splash. We'll do some leaves. Leaf outline. We'll do a couple of them. Same thing with the leaves on the inside. Stamp them off once. Then fill them in so that you've got a lighter and a darker version of the same color. You could mix and match. So I like a little bit of blue and a little bit of green on my leaves. Let me do a little tiny cleanup so I can get my cut and emboss back in here. So should we do this inside the embossing folder? Let's see. I'm going to take these off because we're going to do just the leaves in the embossing folder. Or just the flowers, sorry. Move a couple things away. So let's see if I can line this up. Take your embossing folder. Find the place where you have the 3 flowers together, and it only fits one way. So let's see. Like this. Like this. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to scramble you there. Bringing you back up. Okay, can you see how this fits like this? So it's going to actually go like this. Okay. So it's going to go like this. You're going to fiddle your. Let's do this. Fiddle it into here. Make it work until they all line up. There we go. So now close my embossing folder. Run it through. Oh, just moved a little tiny bit, and I want it to come back. Come back. When I flipped it over. Perfect. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. Close enough, as they say. All right, let's see what you said here. Yes, it is definitely going to be a little heavier if you use all cardstock layers, but not by much. It's not going to be like an ounce, depending on how much you put your stuff on, how much stuff you put on. Okay, so now we've cut out our flowers. There are also dies for, and I don't know if you can see that there's a little bit of, see that little detail right there with the embossing, and it's kind of all curved outward, just like a real flower. I may not take the time to cut these out, but I will put these all back on my website today for creativejuicebylani.com. And I've got one that's already cut out that was just from one of the other dies that just creates this cute little flower. So you can see that we're going to really make a fun, build up a fun front to the card here. So we don't need many dimensionals, just a few. You could even put it on flat should you like to. This one goes on the front. And then we're almost done. We'll add a, go like that. Put the leaf in between. I'll come back, and if I need to add anything else, I can do that later, but I don't want to take all of your time. I just want you to see the finished, or mostly the finished project right here when we're done. I may put another leaf on this side when it's done. Okay, then we can add a little sentiment. Should we like to? Let's see what's in that happy hibiscus. It says, congratulations, or you make me smile. I like both of those. It does have a little banner that we could use, but I'm not going to do that today. We're just going to, you could just put congratulations. I like you to make me smile. But I would do that and fussy cut my little, I will do that probably using the melon mambo and then fussy cut it out and put it on there. So that's kind of, you can kind of see how that will work. Let me show you one that I've also done with, this one was using the eyelet embossing folder, and I embossed the Highland Heather, and this is Gorgeous Grape, and then the piece that is torn in between it is Fresh Freesia. And I've used another new stamp set coming out called Terrific Toadstools. Look how cute this is. But isn't that just so much fun? I love that, where you've got a little popping up to say hi. I would probably add either some grass on this one. I haven't finished it yet, or we have some beautiful ribbon that I could add on here in lots of different ways. You can check out my ribbon video from last week, 2 weeks ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, about adding different ways to add ribbon to cards. So I could use one of those. But yeah, this is just kind of a fun way, a whole bunch of fun ways right here to use that fault line technique. You see them all right there? There we go. Kind of get them all in there. All right, we'll be showing more of these online, so if you want to see better pictures of them, these two are already there on the fault line post that I did not long ago. And then these three will be coming up today. So we'll finish those and put them up. Any other questions that you have? Elaine, thank you. I'm glad that you like those cards. I think that they all turned out really lovely. And, you know, sometimes just a little shimmer and shine, or, oh, I think there's some pretty purple embellishments that I may add to this one that would be fun. Any other things that you would like to say? Oh, hi, Gina. It's good to see you. It's fun to meet your mom. I think I told you that last time. Yep, you can check it out and see these two different versions. These are just kind of the plain versions, and then we stepped them up with an embossing folder. Now, remember, if you're interested in the paper share, you'll be getting some of this paper and some of this paper, actually, in the paper share. Sign up by January 7th. If you're interested in Paper Pumpkin, which these two came from the sentiments came from the Paper Pumpkin kit, I always show my subscribers alternatives using just the stamps and ink, usually from the month that they received their kit. This was a bonus version, so you can sign up and choose Lonnie Spendlove as your Paper Pumpkin demonstrator as well. So that's two options that you've got. So thank you for joining me. We'll be back next Monday no, I will not be here next Monday. I'll be partying with my family. So we'll see you in let's see, the following one. We'll see you into January. May you all have a happy new year, a crafty new year, and I'll see you on the second Monday in January. Thank you for joining me here today. I love having you here and love hearing what you think of it all. See you soon.